Hello everybody, it's Palky82 here to bring you my thoughts on WataMote chapter 68. Now this chapter, I could relate to it so much in so many ways, and I don't know how they do it, but every time a chapter comes out from Nico Tanigawa, it just makes me laugh, and I get so hyped to just turn over the next page and see what the heck, what kind of silly, embarrassing thing that Tomoko is going to be doing next. So this chapter is pretty interesting, and they use pretty much the same format that they've used for a couple of previous chapters. So they break down the events of the day into different sections, and the heading of the chapter pretty much explains the main focus of the heading of the page explains the main focus of what's going to happen. And it starts off with Tomoko the day before the next day of school, and so the second semester started. And apparently, according to the title page, there's a lot of hellish events awaiting for Tomoko. So that'll be exciting to await those events. So it starts off the day before. Tomoko has to head to school, and she realizes she has to get to bed earlier. And I just love how any excuse she can find, she just does like something that'll end up giving her trouble later on in the day or something. So she ends up watching this really boring anime, and I've found myself doing this sometimes. It's just like, I know there's nothing much going on in the anime, but it's just something captivating about like something like really dreary and tiring and boring, and you just get drawn to it anyway. So yeah, I know that feel, Tomoko. I know that feel. And so it carries on into the next day, and she hears the boys next to her talking about the anime. And yeah, we know from the last chapters that she doesn't really like these guys, but she feels a sense of relief that they're talking about the same boring anime that she was watching only like a few hours before, just before she slept. And so it carries on the chapter later on to I think her lunch break, where she's by herself and she hears the opening theme song from the anime, and like she finds it quite good to listen to, even though she doesn't like the anime itself. And then she hears everyone else enjoying it and stuff, and then the girls, like the girl with the bright hair and pigtails, her name's Nemo, like she looks over at Tomoko, and then I guess Tomoko just feels like really uncomfortable anytime at lunchtime she's by herself and like she's isolated and stuff. So yeah, I do feel, again, sympathy like I normally do for Tomoko, but I can understand the situation. I've been there before, when you're by yourself and then you just feel uncomfortable, other people just staring at you like that. And then we get this bit where she's walking along the corridor and she sees her brother, and she blocks him off. And I forgot to mention this before, but yeah, when she's at home, she blocks off her brother, and she's pretty much repeating the words that she heard in the anime, like "hoe" and "yeah." I just found that so hilarious. Like Tomoko just gets so easily influenced by these like little tidbits that she sees from pop culture and media, and then she just tries to implement it into her life, like practices it, and then tries to implement it, and it's just it's brilliant to watch because the reactions of people are just like it's too funny, man. And then we get this bit where Tomoko's playing her game by herself, and this is the funniest part of the. Oh my god, I can't believe like we actually get to see a character do these kinds of things, because the things that have actually, like, I've done this myself, but I couldn't believe that a character from a manga is doing it. This is why I just love Tomoko. She's so real. She's what an angsty, like, antisocial teenager would be like in Japan nowadays. But it's an extreme example, but still, it's like she shows off perfectly the kind of things that people do day to day, like by themselves. So she's playing, I guess, this RPG, and she's entering her name, like that she wants to put, and she enters dick and penis, and it's just like, like I've done that before, like just to see if I can name them my character that. And of course, there's a filter in the game nowadays, but she tries to push the limit of the filter, and she gets cocks with a Z at the end, and I just found that so hilarious. How she just smiles. She's like, yes, success, I got cocks. That was brilliant. So yeah, funniest part of the chapter. What made it even better was later on when she's sees her brother in the corridor. No. She's on her phone and she's so excited about getting Cox in the RPG as her name that she texts her brother. And he just looks at it like, what are you texting me, Tomoko? I haven't got time to respond to you. And she's just waiting a reply and she just doesn't get any. But it's just brilliant how she wants to just tell her brother as soon as she finds out she can do it. And then quite an interesting part of the chapter where it's titled Interest at the top of the page. And I'm guessing Tomoko's really getting into like the Warring States period of Japan. She's in Japanese history class. And it's quite interesting for the reader like ourselves to just see like Tomoko really, because we never really see school life like an actual class getting taught in the series that much. So it's good to see what it's actually like in a Japanese classroom from this perspective of the writer anyway. And yeah, she's really getting into this Japanese history, and I enjoy the fact that she's like actually delving into the kind of stuff and imagining what she like someone like her would be like if they lived in feudal Japan. And she imagines this character that looks just like her pretty much, but with like a feudal haircut, I guess. And she talks about like how most of the feudal lords were homosexual anyway, so it must have been boring for these girls like at her age just to sit around doing nothing all day because there's no manga or games. So they find themselves entertaining themselves by watching these feudal laws. It's just funny how Tomoko thinks about these things, and that's how she gets so into things. Like she got like a perfect test on the quiz on this subject, but for the wrong reasons pretty much, because she just starts thinking these like random thoughts about how the feudal lords used to be homosexuals and stuff. And I found it pretty funny how like she thought that the girls her age in the time of the feudal era would just brag about how they got fucked by feudal lords pretty much. It's just interesting to see how Tomoko thinks about these topics that she gets so into. And yeah, I was pretty happy for Tomoko when she got that perfect score. I think those little moments that she gets like good results and stuff, it just makes me happy to see her make some progression, is like education wise or not. And so after that there's this bit where pretty much this guy is gonna sleep in the class and he ends up just waking himself up by hitting the desk and everyone laughs at him. And at this part I felt pretty bad for Tomoko because she thinks, well, when I did it, no one laughed. Everyone was silent. And I had some similar experience where like I did something wrong, but no one actually found it funny. And then someone else does it, and the whole class laughs. It's like a popularity thing. But hey, Tomoko, what can you do? You're like, well, I love you, Tomoko. So still, you don't have to feel so bad. Yeah. Then after that, there's this bit where this one I could really relate to, and it's pretty funny how Nico Tanegawa, the writers, give a shout out to Togashi, the writer of Hunter x Hunter. I'm pretty sure that's what they're referring to. So I've done what Tomoko's done in this chapter pretty much. She goes to a shop to buy some bread after school, and she knows she's gonna buy a magazine with the manga in it, but she waits to read the chapter because she knows the day is gonna be she knows the day is gonna be bad. So she has something to look forward to in anticipation. I've done this before. Sorry about that. I had to make a cut there. But pretty much, yeah, I can empathize with Tomoko here because pretty much she spends all the day not reading the chapter, even though she could do before she goes to school. But just to have like something to look forward to, she waits until after the day ends, and then she reads the chapter. And when she gets the magazine, like is not in there. So because the writer has back pains. So the chapter's not in this this month's magazine, and she gets so annoyed that she's like, "There's the one thing she was looking forward to, and it's not there." So yeah, I know that feeling, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they were referring to Togashi because he usually, or actually, they might be referring to Ichiro Oda, the writer of One Piece, because they've both had back pain problems before. So yeah, I think that's probably what they're referring to. So nice shout out there, Nico Tanegawa, good job. And then there's a bath scene where the bath pretty much stops working, the hot water, I mean, in her house, so she has to go to a bathhouse. But then she's like, "No, I'm just screw it. I'm not gonna have a bath anyway." And I like how she thinks that way, and how she doesn't, because she's sitting next to those dudes in school, like just doesn't she doesn't bother about it now. But if she was sitting next to Nico, the pigtail hair girl, like she would care. So that's pretty interesting to see. But yeah, I guess it would make sense that she doesn't care if she's sitting next to those guys this semester. But last semester, it would have mattered more to her sitting next to the girl Nemo. So yeah, I can understand that. And then it ends off with I think she's watching Kuroko no Basket like at night time. She's just like laying in bed, and then she sees I think Kuroko no Basket on, because it's like you can hear the dialogue from coming from the TV where it's like receive the perfect pass, and then something like it's about friendship and a female coach. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she was watching it. And it's just funny how the comment she makes at the end, changing Hoe to what she says, is like the humor in these chapters. Just every time they come out, I wish they come out more often, but they don't. They just come out at random times. I guess the translating teams pick it up a couple of days after it comes out, but I'm not sure if it's bi-weekly or not. It's kind of hard to find out. But yeah, it comes out on Weekly Shonen Gangan online. It's yeah. No matter how I look at it, WataMote is just an online series, so I don't know when it gets translated, but it just doesn't get translated quick enough for me, because every week I mean, every time I read a chapter, I'm just waiting in anticipation for the next one, just wanting to see what Tomoko does next, because it's often just hilarious and like cringe-worthy and stuff like that. So yeah, this was my thoughts on the WataMote chapter. I really enjoyed it, pretty funny, relatable moments, and just Tomoko, she just keeps on doing cringe-worthy things, but I just can't help but enjoy it. It's like, yeah, this series has me hooked every week. Leave a comment below on your thoughts on this chapter. It was packed full of, there aren't many pages, but they're usually quite filled with information and things that go on in the chapters, like facepalm moments and funny moments. So yeah, it's like, even though we don't get that many pages every time we get a chapter, at least there's quite a few things to talk about, and another little slice of, even if those small little slice of development, and we figure out more about Tomoko. So yeah, just leave a comment below saying what you feel about this chapter, how you think things will move on in this semester, because more hellish things are apparently going to be happening. And yeah, just see you next time. Parky82.